takes on, I would like to say a big thank you to the University of Belgrade for organizing this first kickoff meeting, and thank you also to Maria Philokipou for the wonderful work that the Cyprus University have done in preparing the previous report. Intellectual Output 1 is closely connected with Intellectual Output 2, the Questionnaire for the State-of-the-Art, and the main purpose of this questionnaire is to learn from students and experts. The specific presentation will be given by myself and Angeliki, Chatzidimitriou, a colleague. Now, the critical questionnaire is part of the first year of research practices that we have in the HERSES project. Obviously, the review of good practices in the subject area is still ongoing, while the critical questionnaire is has now started its period of preparation, and it will lead both of these A and B critical reviews will lead to the statements for teaching through design for sustainability of the built environment and heritage awareness. So the results of the questionnaire, together with the analysis of best practices, to serve as this basis for the statements of teaching. The purpose of the questionnaire is to create an argumentative and critically analyzed report on the state of learning on sustainability and heritage in the field of the urban and architectural design of higher education. The purpose is to support the participating architectural schools in establishing high-quality standards connected to teaching in the field of sustainability of the built heritage through cross-cultural communication and problem solving at an international context. The research questions, the basic research questions, is how much students and experts have developed an awareness of the importance of enhancing issues of the sustainability of built environment and heritage in education and in practice. A second question is, what is the level of understanding of what sustainability and heritage concepts are in the field of urban architectural design and where they are used? And what would be the most effective way to include sustainability and heritage knowledge in existing curricula? The elements of innovation that we are called to address through this questionnaire is questioning how students have developed these competencies in themselves and what they think about how employers and what employers would expect and on what level of competencies they should have developed in the practical design arena. And the second is questioning about learning habits and design strategies, an issue that has been on our mind and has caused the review of relevant bibliography. The targeted students will be postgraduate students within the faculties and the schools and the departments of urban architectural design of the participating organizations and the recent alumni. The questionnaire is planned to be conducted in two parts. There is a qualitative part concerning experts from that will be suggested from all the different universities, and a quantitative stage which addresses students throughout all the universities and their respective countries. Let's see the experts first. This is a qualitative research that will involve at least 10 experts and decision makers from each country, and will review through interviews at least 50 experts from all the member countries, which will be interviewed through Zoom because of this current state that we are on at the moment, and will be able also to fill in an online questionnaire in the case that they do not wish or do not have the time to have a full interview. These experts will be interviewed about the necessary competencies in the practice arena and about the gap that takes place between education and practice, focusing on knowledge and design skills in the field of sustainability and heritage. Parts of this interview, 3 to 5 minute clips per each participant, will be used for further dissemination of the results and will be posted on the Heritage website and possibly on the the HERSES platform. The expert profiles, after a discussion we've had with all the partners, and this is an action that has really started long before January, because we started discussing about intellectual output 2 in the project management meetings since November. We have discussed among us that we need to address a balanced approach, and we would suggest that at least 2 researchers and academic educators are interviewed, 2 practitioners, 2 policymakers, etc. In terms of the students and the quantitative research, this all obviously will be held through an online questionnaire. This will involve postgraduate students in the field of urban and architectural design, and it inquires on issues of sustainability and heritage knowledge and competencies, targeting over 3,500 students from partner organizations, since this is the number of students that these organizations actually serve at the moment. And the student questionnaire will interview at least 1,000 students, that is at least 200 from each member of the HERSUS consortium. This will be achieved through tracking student profiles who are in the, let's say, undergraduate or diploma courses, which last for 4 or 5 years. And we will address the questionnaire to these students. Recent alumni of these student courses, which wasn't originally part of the idea expressed, but we feel that they will be able to address more realistically the gap between practice and theory. MArch and MSc students from the programs that we previously saw and from the courses that were reviewed in the previous presentation, as well as the alumni, the recent alumni of these programs, and PhD students who form necessarily part of the postgraduate program of all the schools. So since we're at the start of this part of the process of the HERSUS consortium, it only started on the 24th of January, but as I said, there have been discussions before. Here we have a presentation of the division of responsibilities as they have been discussed between us. So each HERSUS team will be responsible for conducting research and processing of the results in relation to the expert group. Reporting will be divided in 3 parts. First, we'll refer to the sample and the obtained results. The second will be processing of the results. And in this condition, as a qualitative analysis, we will try and have templates which will allow an equal distribution of these results across thematic areas. And the third part of the report will be about the recommendations and guidelines derived from the obtained material. Introduction and conclusions will be completed by the scientific coordinators or project managers, as will be discussed in following meetings. Hopefully, both the Aristotle University and BGU will coordinate on reporting, as it happened in our previous deliverable, and this yielded very good results. So in the terms of division of responsibilities, again, each HERSUS team will also be responsible for monitoring the student questionnaire dissemination. And this is very critical because we want to assure a good participation of our students, and for the analysis of the responses obtained from the students coming from the respective countries. This will give a local perspective on the answers that each of the respective countries have gathered. And also reporting will be divided in the 3 aforementioned parts for this analysis. The AUTH team will monitor the dissemination of the student online questionnaire cumulatively, informing the partners if they need to make further actions to promote the questionnaire if we have little or a few responses. And also analyze the student responses at the end of the period that the questionnaire is going to be disseminated in relation to the overall responses from the 5 countries. Also, IOTH and BGU will coordinate reporting on this matter. There are several quantitative and qualitative indicators connected with this sampling. The number of samples obviously obtained in each partner institution is quite critical. The number of comments added to the survey questions, both from experts and from students. The number from online readers and commentators of the results, which we will be able to publish and then have a series of commenting, possibly on the HERSUS platform. And qualitative indicators will be the feedback that we get, the evaluation by the quality assurance team and external evaluators, as well as optional and free comments in the form of impressions that will be able to, for people from around Europe to put in the HERSUS sharing platform. Cumulatively, the 5 institutions in the HERSUS consortium have reviewed themes and questions, and also have been engaged in proposing experts, like the expert that we will see tomorrow, and also thought on dissemination strategies through the previous months. Since November, we have proposed a review of the previous questionnaire that Vladan Jogic also reviewed and referred to. relevant literature which has been collected on a shared folder that BGU has very kindly opened for us and which is being populated at the moment. We also commented that there was a need to connect with career offices at the respective institutions, and we thought very much about how we currently measure the effect of our own curricula and how we measure them in academia and in practice. And also we, through the questionnaire that you are going to see, we have crystallized a view on key concepts and application scenarios through different application scales to measure the effectiveness of our curricula. Also, a good practice is that we propose to all the partners is to reconnect with their master's level student body and with their wider student bodies, giving here some of the information that will be used and some of the links that we will use in dissemination of our material. And also an important aspect is the connection with experts, NGOs, and ministries to address the expert questionnaire. If we should see the action that we propose in terms of the organization of the activity, the literature review was conducted mainly by AUTH in the months preceding the official start of this period, which is on the 24th of January. So through November, December, and January, we collected and reviewed quite a lot of literature. The questionnaire preparation is quite early, but as you see, there is a milestone marking the 14th of February, because on the 15th, we actually disseminated the first draft of the questionnaire to all the members, and hopefully this has been disseminated through the project managers and scientific coordinators to all the members of the HERSUS consortium. Now, in this preparation period, which will last until the end of February, hopefully we will have a final version of the questionnaire, which will be disseminated and start the questionnaire dissemination all throughout March. You see there are overlapping periods at the moment for the different tasks, the different main tasks that we have, but we feel that this is necessary because we have tight schedules, but at the same time, we also have the preparation of the first report, IO1, the actual output one until the end of January. So there are a lot of overlapping activities in the specific project. We will try and finish the dissemination, both to experts and to students, until the end of March, and have almost 1 month, the whole of April, to analyze and disseminate results of these two phases between us, so that we can also discuss them cumulatively. So as a guideline for the members, the transcription and analysis for the expert questionnaires can start straight ahead after the completion of an interview, while the student questionnaires will be, let's say, in a closed state until the whole of the 200 samples from each country have been, at least 200 samples have been received. The analysis, as I said, will be handled both by local universities and cumulatively by the Aristotle, and the reporting and some video editing, which will be useful, will happen in the last month. Now, hopefully, in terms of the final deliverables and the video editing, which is not a direct output of this action as was envisioned initially, will be able to be handled cumulatively because of and to be handled as a deliverable that can be housed later in the HERSUS platform itself. Now, there are a few challenges, the methodological mainly, that we discussed between the partners and have come to become the structure of the final questionnaire. The first draft is drafted in English, but will be translated in the 4 languages used by the consortium respective teams. So the questionnaire will be disseminated online, both to experts who wish to address it in such a way and to students. There are 2 different questionnaires. Both groups will be addressed in their own language in order for us to create a flexible and accessible way for them to respond. But also at the same time, the questionnaire for both will start with the first question being about the language that they prefer to be addressed in. So even Erasmus students and at our respective institutions coming from other or third countries could potentially answer this questionnaire. Obviously, this also has an add-on effect in that whatever we put on this questionnaire in terms of terminology, keywords, and scales that we will see through this subsequent presentation that Angeliki Chatzidimitriou will handle, will homogenize the terminology across our different cultural backgrounds while including diversity. So this translation and this linguistic side of the project and of the questionnaire will hopefully allow us to also have a very clear cross-cultural view of different keywords and basic principles of sustainability and heritage. One thing which is addressed in the questionnaire and which really troubled us in drafting in terms of the analysis is the gender and how we include this in terms of having a homogeneous idea and a presentation of the whole sample of the population and how realistically that reflects the local conditions. And also one thing that we did not include, but is a serious omission from us, and this is part of the process of review, is the disabilities and the learning disabilities which were not initially included in the questionnaire and which will need to be included in the questionnaire that we will present to you now. So to continue this presentation, I will give the floor to Angeliki Chatzidimitriou, who will be able to show off the questionnaire and show its structure and organization.
Hello to all from me. Now we will see the draft of the two questionnaires, one for students and one questionnaire for experts. And we will see there are some similarities in the structure in grouping the questions and in listing several parameters in question. First, in both questionnaires, there is an introductory part to thank the participants for their time and to explain the context and the purpose of the questionnaire. Also, there is, if in case there is there are any comments on ethics or other restrictions, they can be added here on this part. Here we start first with the student questionnaire. Okay. Can you change the slide? So the first group of questions aim to identify the respondent, and this is for analysis purposes and statistics. First, there are some questions on the studies, the country, and personal questions for the respondent. The first question is to indicate the program of studies they attend, and here the options are there are 5 options. They were mentioned previously. It's either the fourth or fifth year of the diploma program, and recent alumni of the diploma program, master students, recent alumni from master's programs, and PhD students. The second question is to indicate the main focus of the current studies, and the options are here: architecture and the built environment, sustainability and environmental design, heritage conservation, restoration, and cultural management, sustainable and heritage programs, which include both sustainability and heritage issues, or other main focus. The third question is to indicate the country of the institution they attend. The fourth is to indicate the studies background or professional background of the respondent. There are 10 options here, including architecture, engineering, spatial planning or land surveying, topography or geography, social sciences, environmental science or environmental engineering, also management, economics, agriculture or landscape design and planning, interior and industrial design, and archaeology, heritage and conservation. A fifth question is to indicate the gender of the respondent. This is a question to ensure that there is an equal representation in the sample of the population of students. And there are also some other options for ethical reasons. There is also there could be another question in this part of the questionnaire regarding learning difficulties or other disabilities of the respondents that could be useful for the analysis. We have not included it here, but it probably should be included in the final versions. So we can move on to the second group of questions, which is about the presence or the awareness of issues of sustainability and heritage within the study programs. The first question requires the number of courses that are included in the program of studies that refer to issues of sustainability and heritage. The options here are the courses that focus. There are three options for courses that focus on sustainability and heritage. First, courses that focus mainly on the documentation, conservation, restoration of cultural heritage. The second option, courses that focus on sustainability and environmental design. And the third option on course is the courses that focus both on sustainability and cultural heritage. And there are also two options for courses that raise issues of sustainability and environmental design, and or raise issues on the value and appreciation or dialogue with the national and international historical context. So this question is to indicate the number of these courses within the program of studies, as well as the total number of courses in the program of studies. And the purpose is to evaluate the proportion of courses related to sustainability and heritage within the whole program of studies that the respondent follows. The second question here is to indicate the typology of the available courses related to sustainability and heritage in the program of studies. And here there are also, again, we have the 5 groups of courses mentioned above. And we ask to indicate what is the typology of each of these courses. The types, the options are design studio, intensive workshop, theory course, short seminar, laboratory work, field work, practical training, or other. There will be also an option to specify what other type of courses are available. We can, the next slide, please, Kostas. There is the next question is to rate the, can you change the slide? The next question asks to rate the impact of some activities, of the following activities listed in this table, in strengthening your comprehension of principles related to sustainability, cultural heritage, and the interface between sustainability and cultural heritage. So there are a list of activities, of learning activities included in the academic courses. And the question here is how much these activities help the students to understand the concepts of, understand the issues of sustainability and cultural heritage. There are three columns here on this table, and the respondent needs to rate how significant is each activity in their understanding of the sustainability and cultural heritage concepts. The rating is asked to be from in a scale from 1 to 5. 1 meaning that the activity has minimal impact in their comprehension of those issues, and 5 is that the activity has a dominant impact in their comprehension. So this is a question to help that reflects the learning preferences of students and how these help for understanding those issues. Okay, and the next question is, please rate according to your perception in a scale again from 1 to 5, the applicability of key concepts of sustainability and heritage in the context of different scales of design practice. Here, there is a list with where the key concepts, or the 3 key concepts of reuse, restore, and resilience is extended in a longer list. And we asked the students to rate how these concepts apply to different scale of design. Namely, the scales are construction and detailing, architectural design, urban planning, and landscape design. So again, there is at least a rating scale from 1 to 5, and with this question seeks to see how the students comprehend these key concepts in relation to design and design scales. Okay, this is the third group of questions, which is related to the competencies in relation to sustainability and heritage in practice. The first of these questions is a self-evaluation question for the students. And we ask, please rate yourself in terms of the skills that you have gained through your current program of studies in relation to sustainability and heritage. There is a list of skills in this table, which are comprehension of fundamentals, knowledge of current state of the art, knowledge of international context and legislation and regulations, the knowledge of local legislation and regulatory framework, the knowledge of analytic tools and methods, including software tools, practical experience, specialist environmental design skills, specialist conservation and restoration skills, technical competencies, including drawing and construction details, presentation and communication skills, also managerial and administration skills, and interdisciplinary cooperation skills. So this question asks for the students to rate what kind of skills they have gained through the study program in relation to sustainability and heritage in a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being minimum gain and 5 being the maximum gain. And the second question of this group of questions is to rate the importance of skills that you think will improve your employability in posts dealing with sustainability and built heritage in a professional context. So the previous question was a self-evaluation question to rate themselves, and this one is what they think that would be important in the professional context. There is again the same number of skills, the same scaling rate of evaluation. And these are 2 questions that can be combined for an evaluation of the program of studies and what the students understand about those skills. Okay, change it. You can change the slide. So the second questionnaire is a questionnaire for the experts. Again, there is an introductory part addressing to the experts. The same things with the previous questionnaire apply. Here, there is again in the experts questionnaire. It includes the 3 groups of questions included in the students' questionnaire. And there's also a 4th group of questions we will see at the end on the requirements in the context of academic programs. The first group of questions here is again to identify the respondents' background. We ask for the name, the main field of expertise, among the 5 options, which is researcher, academic and educator, The second option, practitioner. Third, policymaker. And fourth and fifth, decision maker in public administration and decision maker in NGOs or professional societies. The second question is to indicate the years of experience in the field. The third, to indicate the country of the professional activity. The fourth is to indicate the studies and professional background among the 10 options that were mentioned before in the students' questionnaire as well. Another question is to indicate the academic education and titles of the respondent. And then there are some more questions, more specific question on the expert's experience, both professional experience and experience related to academic programs. So the one question is to indicate work experience up to last 3 posts held. Here there are some space to indicate position, institution, and the time period of the work experience. The next question is to indicate the potential contributions to academic education programs, if there are any, from the respondent. And there is also a space for adding a short CV and a photo of the expert, if possible. The second group of questions is again about the presence and awareness of issues of sustainability and heritage in practice here. There are some questions that are in 2 parts, and there are also some questions for the expert to elaborate or some tables to fill in, similar to the tables we saw on the students' questionnaire. The first question is in 2 parts. It's how important are the concepts of sustainability and heritage in your everyday practice? How many projects have you dealt with focusing on sustainability or heritage or both during the last 10 years? Here, the answer of the respondent can be short or give numbers or elaborate a bit on their work focusing on sustainability and heritage. The second part of this question is, in such projects, is the focus on sustainability and heritage based on strict requirements and legislation restrictions, based on your own initiative, or based on client and public sensitivity? This is a question to seek the origin of the sustainability and heritage issues in the experts' work. This is an answer. This can be a more elaborate answer from the expert. The second question is, to what extent are your colleagues, collaborators, and other associates aware of the key concepts and principles of sustainability and/or heritage? Do you think these concepts are adequately integrated in the main corpus of architectural academic studies? In your opinion, is there need for further specialist training? These are kind of straightforward answers. We ask the expert to evaluate how aware are the associates with the concept of sustainability and heritage issues. The third question is again in 2 parts. The first part, and it is related with the scales of design. The first part is which scales of architectural and urban design, for example, construction, detailing, interior design, architectural design, urban planning, and landscape design, are more relevant in your work field. This is an indication of the expert's work experience, basically. And the second part of this question is, please indicate the proportion of different scales of architectural and urban design in your professional practice. And here there is a table to fill in with the proportion of his work on different scales of design. This is some information on the work of the respondent. The following question is again in two parts, and it is related again to the students' questionnaire. Among the key concepts of reuse, restore, and resilience in relation with sustainability and cultural heritage, which of them are more relevant in your work field? This can also be a short answer on the relevance of these key concepts on the respondent's work. And the second part is to fill in a table similar to that, exactly the same, with that in the students' questionnaire that can be compared later. The question is, please rate in a scale from 1 to 5 the relevance of key concepts of sustainability and heritage in the context of the different scales of design practice in your work field. This is again the extended list of key concepts which should be related to rated in relation to the scales of design. The next part is a group of questions, the third group of questions related to the competencies in relation to sustainability and heritage in practice. The first question is, how many times and how often have you cooperated with graduates from academic study programs focusing on sustainability and or cultural heritage during the last 10 years? Do you think they had adequate training to address sufficiently the issues of sustainability and or heritage in the professional context and in your work field? So this could be an evaluation of the expert on his associates from academic study programs that focus on sustainability and cultural heritage. The second question is separated in two parts. It's among your associates who have graduated from academic programs focusing on sustainability and or cultural heritage. Have you observed specific skills that they have obtained through the study programs or others that they have managed to expand in the work environment? The first part of this question is to rate, to fill in a table and to rate these skills. And there is also a second part for further elaboration. The first part is, please rate the quality and abundance of skills of graduates from academic programs focusing on sustainability and heritage in a professional context. And there is a rating from 1 to 5 for two groups. One is for the skills obtained from academic education, and the second one is for the skills that the associate managed to expand in the work environment. The list of skills is the same than with the one included in the students' questionnaire. And the second question is, what other skills or knowledge could they obtain through their studies for sufficiently addressing professional requirements? What else could be offered in the studies for efficiency in the professional context? Okay, and these two questions could also be related to the students' questionnaire. Okay, we can move on to the fourth part of the fourth group of questions, which is this was not included in the students' questionnaire, and this is related to what could be required in the expert's opinion from academic programs. So the first question is, can you identify any knowledge gaps in the existing academic programs in the context of sustainability of the built environment and or heritage awareness? If yes, what do you think is missing from the academic programs? The second question is, how would you overcome the distance between academic education and professional practice on the fields of sustainability of the built environment and cultural heritage? This is again there is again space 12 for the respondent to elaborate on his opinion, his or her opinion. And the third question is separated in two parts. It is related with the activities in the academic programs. The first one is, what would you characterize as a balanced combination in terms of academic educational activities on heritage awareness and sustainability of the built environment among theory, tools, and practical applications? In your opinion, which would be a sufficient proportion of each aspect of the education process? Here the question is for the expert to elaborate on what activities are the most significant in the academic programs to improve the awareness on sustainability and heritage within the academic process. And the second part of the question is to rate the activities in academic education according to the appropriate proportion in academic programs, focusing on sustainability and heritage. Here, there is a table that is similar to the table included in the students' questionnaire. However, here we have grouped the activities in three main groups, as it seemed kind of difficult for some experts not for the experts not which are not in the academic which are not involved in academic programs. It would be difficult for them to answer specifically for a lot of different activities. So the groups here are methods of knowledge transfer, which could be lecture, seminar, study, analysis, study of literature. And the second group is practical and technical training. And the third group is evaluation methods. So the rating here is how important, these activities, what would be the proportion of such activities in the academic programs. Okay, and the final two questions are related to the key concepts which that we have seen before in the tables. Please rate in a scale from 1 to 10 the significance of key concepts of sustainability and heritage, which should be addressed in the context of academic education. What should be included in the program of studies. And here there is again a rating from 1 to 5 on what the expert thinks is more important to be included. And finally, a last question is for the expert to suggest the most significant factors for improving the education processes. As a professional expert, what would you suggest being a key factor for the improvement of architectural education in terms of sustainability and cultural heritage awareness and training? So this is the last part of the expert questionnaire, and we can see that there are some similarities that in the analysis stage can be combined between student and expert, on the answers from students and from experts, and this can be combined. Can be assessed in the analysis process. We can see the similarities and the differences in the two fields. So I think these are the questionnaires. I think that we have finished with the structure and the questions.
Yes, and before we wrap up, I suggest just to point out that this question 4.5. Could be used for the dissemination because this could be in asking the experts to suggest the key factor. Possibly we'll have quite a few different 3 to 4 minute videos which can address this question and sort of give a reflection of the experts' experience throughout Europe on these main educational fields. So hopefully you have watched our presentation, and I can stop sharing.
Yes,
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Sakantamis and Ms. Chatzidimitriou. I hope the pronunciation is okay for the presentation of this very important output for the further progress of our HERSUS project. And of course, thanks to Aristoteles University of Thessaloniki for coordinating and leading this intellectual output. We are very happy to be able to present these first activities and results of our project to our wider public. We don't have questions, but we have one comment from Mr. Lopez. Congratulations. It would be interesting to have the results in easy to read for people with cognitive disabilities. If Mr. Lopez want to add something more, or some of the panelists to discuss about this comment. And also, since there is no question, maybe I can open the floor for the discussion, since we have participants from various expertise, and we would like to cherish any feedback, since the questionnaire is entering in its final phase regarding preparation. From your presentation, as I understood well, I see that one of the challenges was the language. So I would like, if you are willing, to discuss the idea of developing maybe a common dictionary of sustainability and build heritage, and integrate it as a part of our final handbook.
First of all, it was an issue that we saw because of trying to approach users in the most comfortable fashion. Right now we have a draft of the English questionnaire, and hopefully this will be finalized in the next few days and after this event where we will discuss it. And that's why it's really important now that we have questions from the other partners or comments. But this will also be confirmed through a project management meeting later on, hopefully. After that, all the teams will be translators, so they will take upon the translation of this questionnaire, which will help us in this first dialogue and in actually seeing the same keywords in the 4 different languages and English, which make up the 5 languages that we are going to use. Also, in order to host the questionnaire in open format in terms of Google Forms or a similar kind of format, we will need to employ this kind of an answer, firstly for the language, in order to differentiate the different backgrounds of people, but at the same time hold the questionnaire as one questionnaire, where the different respondents are going to be routed to the different questionnaire in English, Italian, Serbian, etc. Hopefully this will give us an opportunity both to the local groups who will be partners in dealing with this document to see the results as they are coming in, as the students are filling them in, have open access to the results of the analysis, because through Google Forms you could have straight away some indications of the groups that are answering for statistical purposes. And also this can hopefully mean that we can all share this knowledge and this common background of terms to carry it forward in our reporting. And hopefully in this way you have seen, for example, that we have chosen to represent what the HERSUS program has named Reconstruct. In English, we have presented it as Restore, and we have a way to approach this change of a concept and this change of term, but we will have to discuss it more in our internal meetings. But hopefully through this process, we'll be able to exactly come to what you suggested, a common understanding of different terms that hopefully will be included. The side project is also the videos, which hopefully was pretty clear on what they are supposed to address and support.
Thank you very much. Thanks again to all panelists, and see you later after the lunch break at 2:00 p.m. Thank you, and see you later.
I saw some of my colleagues actually opening the cameras. I don't know if they want to add anything or if they want to take advantage of this time. For Enrico, perhaps? No, okay.